My next player I have is basically all I know to go, the greatest point guard of all time, Steph Curry. I love Steph Curry. He's very good. He's almost a hard worker. He works every day. He works his tail off. He works his butt off. He works very hard, tremendously in the NBA. Because honestly, I remember when he had those ankle injuries back in Golden State. I think it was when I wasn't even starting to watch basketball. When I was starting to watch basketball, this guy would get ankle injuries night left. That will always get ankle injuries left and right, and he'll basically be traumatized the player to even play on the court. But honestly, I think he fixed it after having those ankle injuries and then using that as motivation to be a good player. And he basically became the greatest three-point shooter of all time and the best point guard of all time. So I remember when Stephen Curry, he was basically a short guy in Davidson, he wasn't really noticed like that, and then he got drafted to Golden State Warriors. It took him quite a year to develop, like with teammates like he has in now and Klay Thompson. It took him a very good long time for him to develop as a player and as a point guard in efficiency because he was basically a rookie. He didn't know what to do, and he basically took time, and it took him about 3 or 4 years to develop. And look at him now; he's basically an MVP. And I remember Stephen Curry like this. I remember him to when I liked LeBron James back in Cleveland. I think it was pretty much in the 2016 year. I think, was it the 2016 year? No. I think, honestly, I like LeBron James, I'll talk about later. I like LeBron back in 2013 when I started to watch basketball. But when Curry just lit up the Cavaliers in that time when LeBron James was in Cleveland, I basically just love Curry off, and people will call me a bandwagon. They'll call me a Curry dick, rather. I think the only time I liked Curry was when after he won his first championship and after that Cleveland run. So I think honestly Stephen Curry, he's evolved into a great point guard now. So I think Steph Curry, he has to be my top of the list. And honestly, for his 3-point shooting, I'd always watch his workout videos as a kid. I think it was in 2016 in grade 7 or 8 when I would always go to basketball practice. I'd just watch Stephen Curry just practice on YouTube. So practicing videos when he was shooting shots, and even when he was shooting in the Air Canada Center. Basically, Steph Curry is just a great player that I'd love to see, and he just puts in the hard work. And yeah, and then even when they had Kevin Durant, who I still like Steph Curry to that day, and I didn't really think the move for Kevin Durant even coming to Warriors was a great move because it basically, yes, Curry did become an MVP without Kevin Durant, but at the same time, he didn't really need Kevin Durant to succeed. But I think Stephen Curry is the greatest point guard of all time. He can shoot threes, he can play a bit of defense a little bit, he can pretty much create his own shot. And that's just Steph Curry, myself and Steph Curry. And I think the time I liked him was in 2016 when he basically beat my LeBron favorite Cavaliers when they had Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love. So yeah, and then the Cavs won the next time. So yeah, it's just basically myself and Steph Curry.